Intrepid needs to show this for the upcoming Caravan live stream this coming Tuesday. So I wanted to make this video a little while ago because I actually predicted this live stream correctly earlier in this month. If you've watched my 1v1 podcast, you've heard me already talk about this, but I was just extremely happy that I finally got this correct. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to go right into it as to what I believe Intrepid should do from start to finish of presenting the Caravan stream. The first thing I want Steven to do is, when we get into the gameplay footage, is to immediately show up at the caravansary. I want Steven to have components in his bag. I want to see what it's like to put all these components together in the caravansary. I want them to talk about all of the different ways and all the different components you can potentially do for the caravan itself. I want them to then, once they initiate the caravan, I want them to be able to show at least the map of the Riverlands, because we all know it's going to happen in the Riverlands, and then pinpoint where they want their group and caravan to spawn. That is what I want them to show, and that wouldn't take very long, maybe like 5 minutes, potentially like 5 to 10 minutes if they wanted to go pretty in depth with that. After that, then they spawn at their desired location, and then we basically trek on to going from point A to point B. Now, on our way to point B, I want them to show PvP. That is the main highlight that I want them to see. And what goes with that highlight of showing player versus player combat is the UI. Now, we've seen already from the world event showcase how when people wanted to defend the caravan and against the whole PvE engagement, there was that option. But I would love for them to show us the UI components if you want to either attack or even defend said caravan. And I think that is very important to see. And then, of course, just showing the player versus player combat, because the one thing that I saw very differently from the world event stream was the combat looked so good and so smooth when it came from the players. Yes, did some of the creatures look a little janky running around and glitching? Absolutely, but alpha be alpha. But if it's just players casting spells against other players, just imagine how smooth that combat is going to look like. I would love for them to show us a complete brawl of all these people just going at it and trying to kill this caravan. The other thing I've always kind of assumed to a point is that the caravans are going to have some kind of buttons to go about this. Now, I actually discussed this in the Tangents of Creation podcast with Jamie, Chaos, and Lace about how I want these caravans to have these kind of like world boss abilities. Now, nothing too crazy, but what I basically mean is that I want these caravans to have like an invulnerable for like a couple of seconds, maybe a speed boost, maybe a seismic blaster that kind of pushes enemies away like 30 yards. Just different ways that the defenders can actually defend their caravan properly, along with just going along with the PvP thing. Once we get all of that and we see everything, then we can actually go to the next node location and see what it's like to actually achieve that objective of going and auto running to that node and seeing what the whole finale is like in that regard. Me personally, the reason why I'm looking so much forward to this particular live stream is because of the PvP component. It has been so long since we've actually seen anything regarding PvP. And as much as I love this game, like, PvP is a huge part of Ashes of Creation. So I think it is high time for us to finally see some amazing PvP combat. And as this combat has been getting better and better pretty much for every single live stream that I've seen, I think it's high time. And because the caravan has so much going in this system, especially when it comes to gatherables and materials, and then also what it takes to make these components, to make these big, larger than life caravans, I want them to talk about all this stuff. And I want to talk about the entire process from A to B. And I think if we roughly get like a 45 to 50 minute gameplay footage, I think they can facilitate every single one of those things. The only thing I don't really want to see is anything PvE related with this caravan run, because I think it'll be a completely boring stream. We go into the beginning of this live stream with Steven already at the caravan point that they already spawned and pinpointed, and then we're just going to go down this road or down this path, and then it's just a bunch of player versus creature combat stuff. It's like, well, what was the real point of this caravan stream? I mean, unless they try to go into all of the things that we haven't seen. That's why I'm looking forward to it, because I think Intrepid is going to show us all these things. I'm really curious, guys. What are you looking forward to? What do you guys really want to see? It has been a minute since I made a video. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, I will be making videos, going towards the end of the year. It's high time now. Alpha 2's rapidly approaching, hopefully. So I will see you guys in the next one.